Hi, it's Stu Bear, and today Heather will be showing us how to make a Christmas tear and share bread.
In this bowl, I've got 500 grams of strong white bread flour. To this, I'm first of all going to make a well in the centre using my hand, like so, and then going to add 2 7-gram sachets of yeast to the centre. And then in here, I've got 300 ml of lukewarm water. I'm just going to add half of that in the well to begin with, on top of the yeast. And then, very gently, just give that a little mix with a fork. And then I'm going to leave this for 2 minutes or so until the yeast starts bubbling and foaming, and then we're ready to carry on. So I'm going to transfer this into my stand mixer first of all, which is fitted with a dough hook. And then I'm going to add the rest of the lukewarm water, so another 150 ml is going in there, and also just 1 teaspoon of salt. And then I'm going to start mixing this on a slow speed until it all comes together. And then once it's starting to come away from the sides of the bowl, I'm going to start turning the speed up and leave this to knead for about 5 or 10 minutes until it's really nice and smooth. So this has just had 10 minutes kneading in the stand mixer. I'm happy now with the consistency. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to remove this from here, and then I'm going to transfer it into an oiled bowl, which I have just here. And I'm just going to leave this to prove for around an hour or so, or until it's just doubled in size. So there we go, and then just cover that over with a damp tea towel. And like I say, in an hour you'll be ready to start shaping your dough. Right then guys, so I've had my bread proven now for an hour or so. As you can see, it's more than doubled in size. That's perfect. So what I'm going to start doing now is shaping it so we get that lovely Christmas tree effect. So I'm just going to tip it onto my board to begin with, like so. Make sure you just flour your board using the bread flour, the same that we used to make the dough. So I'm just going to give it a little bit of a roll around in that. Not too much. We don't want to change the texture of the dough we've worked so hard for, but we just don't want it to stick to the board when we start shaping it. So I've got my tray here that I'm going to bake it on. So what I'm aiming to do is roll out a rectangle the same size as my baking tray. So I'm going to take the rolling pin and start rolling it this way, get it as even as we can, and then exactly the same, start going the other way until we have our perfect sized rectangle. So now I've shaped my dough into a rough rectangle shape. I'm going to just take the tray that I'm going to be baking it on and just use this as a rough guide so I know how small to cut it. So I've just dusted my knife slightly with some butter, just so it doesn't stick when I'm cutting it. So I know I'm going to cut it to about here this side, and then the same with the others, so about here this side, and then like so, just keep repeating on the other corners until we have the rectangle. So here I'm just going to go across like that, and then I'm going to discard these side pieces. Being careful, we want to keep it as sort of straight as we can. There we are. Just keep these to the side for now. These will be great for making, I don't know, like smaller Christmas trees, or even just you can bake those on their own. That would be a lovely bread roll if you shape and bake that. But for now, we don't need them. So they're just going to go in there. And then I'm going to cut this. So I'm going to have a triangle. So I'm going to take the corner this side into the middle, so here, and then the same with the corner back side, and cut that into the middle as well. Like that, and then the same this side. There we go. So I've got the middle part, and with those edges I'm going to form a separate triangle with those on here. So that's going to be the bottom, and then we're going to put our filling onto that, and then this one is going to go on the top. So take that, slightly give this a little dust, not too much, and then this is just going to go onto there. So there we go. Put the other one there. Don't worry, it's not perfect at the minute. It's going to be the bottom anyway, so we're not too worried. So I'm just going to pinch these two separate pieces together down the middle, just to join them up. There we go. And then make that a bit more pointy at the top. And then take the rolling pin, and where you think it needs it, just roll it down, just to give it that shape. Just stretch it out slightly. Use our hands as well. There we go. Don't worry that that bit isn't perfect, because you're not going to see that. We're going to put this nice one on top anyway. So just carry on, stretching slightly. We just want it a bit wider, just so it matches that one. Like I say, this one doesn't have to be perfect by any means. Keep on stretching, ensuring that stays joint in the middle. There we go. So onto that, I'm going to add the pesto. To this triangle, I'm going to start adding on my fillings. So I'm going to start spooning on my green pesto, and then I'm just going to spread it all out. Just like that. There we go. We want a nice layer there. We want to be able to taste it at the end of the day. So there we go. That looks good to me. So then onto that, I'm going to start adding my mozzarella. I'm just going to tear that straight on top. Don't worry about cutting it. The Italians certainly don't. So just layer that on top of your pesto, like so. I'm just going to use this whole ball for this. Lovely, happy days. And then I'm going to add the top part of the Christmas tree. Like so, and then just get those edges to match up as well as you can. Give it a little stretch out with your fingers, just so it covers all of that. Don't worry if those toppings start to leak out. They're going to be leaking out anyway once we twist it to make the branches, so that's not too important at all. Like I say, just stretch them out to get them as even as you can. Just gonna make the top of the tree like that. And there we go. So then, taking my knife, I'm gonna start cutting the branches off, which I'm then gonna twist to make my Christmas tree. So we're gonna leave an inch in the middle without any cuts, and then just cut both sides equally. So I'm going to start with my first one about here. finished shaping my bread now into a Christmas tree shape. So now I'm just going to leave this again to do its second proof. I'm going to cover it over with a damp cloth again and leave it for an hour or until doubled in size. So guys, I've had my Christmas tree bed proven now for an hour. I'm almost ready to bake. So what I'm going to do just before it goes in the oven, I'm just going to give it a little drizzle over with a little bit of olive oil, like so, just like that. And then I'm also going to, I've got these lovely rosemary sprigs here. I'm just gonna rip a few of these off and sprinkle them over the top. And I think that just makes it look like there's pine needles on it. Makes it look even more Christmassy. Here we go. Sprinkle them from above. And not only does this enhance the Christmas look, it's also gonna enhance the flavour of our bread. Now we're all ready to pop this into the oven. I'm going to bake this for 20 to 25 minutes, 190 degrees C or 375 degrees Fahrenheit. So whilst we've got our bread baking in the oven, what better time to enjoy a cup of tea from our wonderful sponsors, the Kent and Sussex Tea and Coffee Company. Remember, for a discount you can use code AIRSHOW in all capital letters to enjoy a discount on all their tea and coffee products. Cheers. Smells delicious. You can see it started to go a lovely golden brown colour, which is what we're looking for. I'm going to just leave this for a couple of minutes just to cool on the tray before I transfer it over to my slate board for serving. You can eat this bread, it's equally nice hot or cold. Personally, I prefer it just warm. I'm going to put some cherry tomatoes on top to almost give it look like there's some baubles on my Christmas tree branches, ready for serving. So here we go then guys, here's our finished tear and share Christmas tree bread. All I've done is I've just added some rosemary sprigs around it and just drizzled some more pesto over the top. I hope you agree that this will be perfect if you've got any Christmas parties coming up, if you want to wow your guests, or equally as good if you just want to tuck into it yourselves at home. Hope you enjoy making it. Thanks guys.
Oh boy, I can tell you that was absolutely gorgeous. One of the tastiest things I've had. So many thanks, Heather, and make sure you keep tuned to Stu Bear's Mr. Foodie's YouTube channel and make sure you give it a like and subscribe. We'll see you on the next one very, very soon.